Hey there, welcome back to Coding Stuff. So from this video, we'll be learning how to use SQLite database in Android Studio. Also, I will provide source code of this application in description box. So if you get some errors, you can check with that. So there are tons of database that we can use in Android Studio, but Android comes with their inbuilt database that is SQLite. So we don't have to import any dependency to use SQLite in Android, and it is faster than other database because it stores the data locally, that is in our Android phones. Also, after this tutorial I will upload tutorial on Firebase database, so make sure you subscribe the channel for upcoming tutorials. So we'll be creating application like this. We can insert data here, so let's provide name that will be stew, and let's write anything here. And if you click on this add data, data will be inserted in the database. So we'll see how to implement all these methods in Android Studio. So let's fire up our Android Studio and start creating the project. So I have already created this design. It's just 6 buttons and 3 edit text. It's too easy to implement, but still I'm providing source code in the description box, so you can check with that. So let's initialize them in our main activity. So widgets, first we have 3 edit text. So private edit text, first is id, so we'll name it as id edit, then name edit. So now we'll find their IDs. So first is edit text, so id edit. So we have finded all the IDs of our widgets. So the next thing that we have to do, we have to create one database helper file, and it will extend to SQLite Open Helper. So what is database helper file? It is important and always required whenever we implement SQLite in Android Studio. So database doesn't know what kind of data it will store. So this database helper file will tell the database what kind of data it will be storing. So let's create one class, and we'll name it as a database helper, and this will extend to SQLite Open Helper. And we have to implement some methods, so we'll press here Alt Enter, and again we have to create one constructor that will match to SQLite Open Helper, so Alt Enter. Okay, so at the first we'll declare some constant, so private static final string, and it will be database name, so it will be student record, and we'll press Ctrl D here, and this will be table name. We'll name it as student data, again Ctrl D. This will be column 1, this will be column 2, and this will be column 3. So this is going to be ID, and this one to name, and this one will be email. Okay, so we have created all the constant that we will require. So here we have one constructor that is super constructor. So we don't need this much here, just require context. So we'll delete all these things, version and factory. Okay, so we have just creating this application, so we'll put one here as a version and we'll pass null factory here, and the name will be our database name, so database name. So now we have to implement this onCreate method. So over here we'll just create one table using this DB instance of SQLite database. So DB dot execute SQL, and we'll pass here one query, that is create table if not exist. Make sure you put space after this because it will lead us to some errors, and then we'll concatenate it with table name. And now we'll pass here id integer, that will be our primary key, and it will be auto incremented. And then we'll pass name text and email text. Okay, this is it for onCreate method. Now we'll jump to our onUpgrade method. So whenever we have to add a new table or new columns, we have to upgrade it. So we have to upgrade the version of it. Okay, so here we'll just write db dot execute SQL and drop table if exist, and then the table name. And now we have to just call this onCreate method, and we have to pass here db. Okay, now we'll just minimize this method. So now we have to insert data into database. So we'll create one method for it. So public, it will be type of boolean insert data, and it will take two parameters, so that will be name and email. So the first thing that we have to do, let me make spaces here. So first thing that we have to do, we have to create an instance of SQLite database, and we have to take permissions. This .get writable database, because we are inserting the data into database. Then we have to create instance of content values. So content values is a big object where we can store the values. So new content values, and then values dot put. So this put method takes two values, that is first one is the string key and another is the value. So the key will be column 2 and the value will be name. We'll just duplicate it, and this will be column 3 and this will be email. Okay, now we have to insert the data. So we'll create one long variable and db.insert. So this insert takes three parameters. First is the table name, and another is the null column hack. We'll pass here null, and the last is values. Okay, so now we'll check if this var equals -1, then we'll return the false, means something went wrong, data is not inserted, and else this is not the condition, then we'll return true. Okay, so now we'll minimize it and we'll jump into our main activity.java, and here we'll create one method. So that will be public void add data, and here just add on click listener to our add button. Set on click listener, new on click listener, and we'll just call it here in our onCreate method. So add data. So first we'll just create one variable. So boolean is inserted equals myDB dot insert data, and we have to pass here name edit dot get text dot to string, and another parameter will be email edit dot get text dot to string. Okay, if is inserted is true, then we'll show one toast. data inserted. And if this is not the case, then we'll show on toast. Something went wrong. Okay, this is it. Now we'll check our app is working or not. So it has been installed. So we'll pass here ID 1 and name will be, let's say, David, and email will be david@123, and we'll just add the data, and you can see the toast data is inserted. So this is it for now. In the next video we'll see how to retrieve data from this database. So make sure you subscribe the channel. So thank you.